Welcome to General Admission. Today is June 15th, and has Slipknot come undone?
Maybe the blister does exist.
I hope, I hope they're not done, but they parted ways with their keyboardist, Craig Jones. Yeah, I think that's right. Um, yeah, Craig Jones, and he's
Supposedly
like,
that was amicable. Is that the right word? When
yeah,
they leave on friendly terms. Supposedly, like he wanted to
yeah.
be with his family. This is
It-
based completely on YouTube comments, so I'm
I
not sure
mean,
how true that is.
we all
But
know that is like the most factual, trustworthy source of information you can ever get. Now that Reddit's down, we have to resort to just using YouTube as forums.
is
I
Reddit down?
Yeah, there's like a whole thing going on where like they're not letting third party vendors use the site for their apps, and like everyone's protesting, so it's like shut down for a few days. And I spent too much time on Reddit. I
Isn't
think
that a good
probably
chunk
like,
of their use though? Like third parties using it.
well, it's these other apps that run Reddit through it, so you don't have to use the official Reddit app.
Oh, they're doing
And
that
they're
now.
making it
Okay.
cost so much to like use their API that like it's stupid. But now everyone's freaking out. But everyone is probably like 10% of people that actually care or have any idea. But yeah, it's stupid. And that's where I get like 90% of my information. So I hope I don't know. I hope it works out. What were we
Let it be
talking
back
about?
up by the fish tour.
Yeah, seriously, we need those setlist threads. Yeah, Craig Jones was the second longest member in the band, I guess, next to Corey Taylor. I don't know. He joined in like 96 for like their first like demo EP or
So
some shit like that.
he's an OG.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did Jim Root join?
He's got it. Uh, I have no idea. I'm not even gonna pretend to know, but I feel like he's
I'm
been
gonna
around
find
a
out right
while.
now.
But yeah,
'99.
he's been in the band. Like him and Corey Taylor were friends since like before the band. They go way back. I mean, even if it was amicable, this was announced the day of the start of their tour. So like how amicable could it have been that they didn't like plan this earlier? If he was gonna leave, I feel like he would have left, they would have found someone.
So based on this comment, like he just really wanted to be home with his family and he was like over the touring life. So it's possible maybe he was like, I really don't want to go on this tour. And like
Yeah.
last second decided I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, trying to like convince himself, and then kind of like when we talked to Tom Denny, like
Yeah.
it's like doing it but not really what he wanted. I mean,
This also
96,
could be
that's like
fanfic,
what? It's like
but
30 years. Yeah. I mean, couldn't they also have just like found a replacement, slapped a mask on him, and told no one?
probably. Although I feel like is he the one with the nose? Was he the one with the nose?
I Do they not all have noses?
Like you know what I'm talking like the
Oh,
long,
the
really
pointy
long
one,
nose. Yeah,
like Frank Reynolds when they go to the secret sex parties.
pretty much.
Orgy. That just came back today too, actually. Shout
Or
out
was he
Sun.
the one with the spikes on his head?
I honestly don't know,
He was with the
but
spikes on his head. Okay, confirmed.
spikes. Craig
Spikes, not
Jones,
nose.
spiky head, no nose, or just not a distinct nose, no long nose.
The nose was Chris Fenn, and he left the band in 2019.
They're a big band. I mean, they got a ton of members. Like they had way more members than I realized when I saw them. But that's like part of the fun. But I guess they had their core and then rotating cast. I think they'll be fine. But if I was a diehard fan, I'd be concerned or just a little upset. You never want to see that happen.
No,
And then they put out an EP with the same song on it 5 times.
which I'm still confused on why
Bro,
they hyped this up like it was a brand new EP,
what on
but
earth? It
like
was
Adderall was like an intro song to the last album.
That's what I was gonna say. This It's not even a new song. It's not like a
No,
B-side. So for those that didn't listen, the EP I want to say has 6 songs. There is an intro that I thought was a new song and said it's like 35 seconds of piano or something. Then there's Adderall. Then there's Adderall parentheses no intro. Which, like, come on, you can't, that doesn't count. You can't just take the intro off a song and just like fast forward 30 seconds there. You don't have the intro. Then there was Adderall instrumental. Then I'm like, all right, another new song. Nope. It was just like some sitar bullshit being like, wow, wow, wow. Like, so, like Indian thing. Ravi? I forget the guy who played with the Beatles who was like super famous. Robbie Shankter or something like that. Some name. I don't know.
Is that the
But
guy that left before they got famous?
no, no.
Oh,
That was Scott, their drummer.
no, that's it.
No, no, that was Blink. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird EP. Like I did, and then the last song was like same deal. Like I listened to 30 seconds. I'm like, this is gonna be another one with just instrumental, and sure enough, it was. So yeah, not really much to say there.
This was
Yeah,
another one I put on at the gym thinking it'd be great gym music and
yeah,
was just like completely not that at all and kind of like ruined my mood for the morning a little bit. And
yeah.
like I said to you before, which I wanted to say for the podcast, but I couldn't help myself, I was better off listening to The Teacher twice than wasting any time on this for 20 minutes.
Maybe Foo Fighters will re-release their whole album without intros because that's a thing apparently. I too, I'm not kidding. I went to the gym for the first time in like a month. I say this on this podcast every 2 months. I go to the gym for the first time in a month. I went like this EP was a strong motivation. I'm like, I have to listen to Slipknot. I've been wanting to like start exercising again, so let me go. I get
I
on
should
the
have warned you.
treadmill. Yeah. So the real question is when you were there and you realized what this EP was, what did you then put on?
So I'm like, I'm not going to just like be angry at Slipknot, even though I kind of am. So I threw on Iowa and it completely carried me through the
That's
rest
a
of the
good call.
workout and then made me less angry at the band knowing they at least still have that in their catalog. But I don't know what they were thinking here. Like Adderall isn't even a single. So like if it was like a big single and like people wanted to hear like alternate versions, I would get that. This was like an intro track before it gets heavy on the
Yeah.
album. It
And
makes no sense to me.
even then, like, don't hype it up. Like, it's cool they want to show like how the sausage is made or whatever, but like, don't hype it up that you have an EP coming out. Just be like, oh, we're putting out some demos today. Like, if you want to check it out, enjoy.
But they hyped it up.
Yeah. I put on PUP after I realized what this was because PUP, they're good energy.
That was a good redeeming one. That
Yeah.
was a redeeming EP, I should say.
Yeah. They,
Singles that didn't make the album that were still good songs.
yeah. Their Instagram post was so funny. I don't have it up, but it was along the lines of like, we are dysfunctional and every song we chose to put on the album was just to spite someone else out of a song they wanted on the album. Very healthy band. So here's the 3 songs that didn't make it.
And they would have fit in like perfectly on this too.
Yeah. They all they all just fit that mold. You could tell it's like from these sessions and stuff. And they did it as an EP, not a deluxe edition. So something to be
Respect
happy
them for
about.
that.
Yeah.
I think How to Live With Yourself is my favorite out of the three.
Was that the last one? No,
The first one.
I liked kill somebody, kill someone, kill yourself.
You kill something, you're right.
Kill something. I don't know.
But that was like I wrote like a solid slow pup jam, like slow for
Yeah,
pup.
yeah, first for
But
pub.
yeah,
Yeah, it was great energy. They rock. I was mad last week when I was naming Canadian bands. I forgot to name Pup
we did.
from the Yukon Valley where we
I always
left them.
forget they're Canadian.
Yeah, that was a miss. That was a miss. Yeah, a lot of singles, a lot of EPs this week. Or not a lot of EPs, just a lot of singles. Um, we also had a front bottom single, Punching Bag. I think at this point you like kind of know what you're getting with the front bottoms, and I'm cool with that.
It was
It's not
vintage
like,
front bottoms.
yeah, exactly. And I liked how they used like the flashlight notes at the beginning, the boo doo doo doo. They didn't like overdo it or anything, but that
A
was a
quick
nice
little
little,
nod.
yeah, notch.
Nudge.
Man, you
Did you
missed
watch the
that one.
music video?
No, I didn't know there
Oh,
was a music video.
Brian like made it and like produced it himself.
Wow, that's
Just
awesome.
a guy in a field like punching a punching bag, but like had all this different animation going on, and like it would keep going in and out of
Uh,
animation and like real life.
oh, that's super cool. I gotta look it up.
Like a little take on me motivated with like just looks like it took place in the middle of a field in New Jersey, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wonder what field. We have many of them. They I was speaking of Reddit, I was browsing the front bottoms subreddit and someone was talking about like songs of theirs that like never really made albums but were kind of just put out randomly. And there was one that they did it one of their like live sessions. I guess it was during quarantine or one of those. And it was basically I think it was called Wolfman Part 2. Was it Wolfman?
There's a part two.
That's what it was. I think if you YouTube that, it'll come up. There's not really a name. But after they played it, he's like, "We wrote that this morning, and like we nailed it." And they were all like high-fiving each other, and then he just went on this little speech about like just be creative and like try stuff, and like we want our fans to feel the same way we do, and this and that. So I think knowing that, it's cool that he's trying animation and video stuff, and I like that.
Yeah, Wolfman was on the GDP split.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite front bottom songs. That was so good.
Do you know why they removed one of the GDP songs on Spotify?
Which one?
The only parking garage is on it. And
Of the
I know it's a 4 song EP, but there's only 3 on Spotify.
really? Well, uh, hold on. I got it right here. Record store day
All right,
release.
going right to the source.
Side A, GDP limousine. Then you have front bottoms and Wolfman. Side B, handcuffs. Side four, parking garage. So they took handcuffs off.
They took limousine off.
Uh, maybe I don't know. I don't know anything about GDP other than he's on this. And were you at the show at was it
When he
Webster?
came out in New York. Yeah,
It was so funny. I think he was like way too stoned, and he also I got the vibe that he didn't expect the crowd to like know his verse word for word in um whatever song it is about burning incense or something like that off of Back on Top. And the whole crowd was rapping
getting
word
high
for
and hanging out.
yeah. The whole crowd was rapping word for word and like it's probably not easy to rap on stage with a band and keep time when the whole crowd is also trying to do it if you're not like ready or maybe you don't have monitors in or you're just really stoned. But you could tell like he was he was a little shook. It was really funny. That was
I
a
don't think
great
he's
show.
doesn't look like he has done much since 2015. So I wonder if something happened or he just didn't want to make music anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if his other song is on here, then it doesn't sound like they felt like they needed to remove him.
Maybe there's just something on that song that's problematic.
Yeah. Shout out Andy, friend of the pod, who picked this up for me on Record Store Day
And he's the
in
man.
2015. He is the man.
I had a
Oh.
quick front bottoms question for you. Speaking of their single, it's
Yes.
like this single made me like really excited for their album, and I feel like it's gonna be one that gets a lot of spins in the fall. I now associate the front bottoms with fall music because of like
Because Leaf Pile.
Leaf Pile and like 2015 we saw like that fall tour and when Back on Top came out. I feel like their music just hits better that time of the year. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
just me.
No, I get that vibe because I mean, I can always listen to them, obviously, but they're like stripped down just enough that like it's like this is gonna sound so stupid, but it's like how the fall strips down, like the leaves start to like it
Leaf
fall
Pile.
has like an acoustic guitar vibe with electric guitar in the background. There's still that like the weather's still kind of nice. It's not too cold to do anything, but it's getting there. So yeah,
It's exactly what I wrote down. Actually, I wrote like when the temperature changes and you have summer meeting cold and
yeah. What? When
all
are
goes
we?
together.
When's the show? September?
November,
October? November? Nice. So yeah,
November 11th.
right on schedule. It's gonna be awesome. Speaking of their album, the track list is out because apparently I don't know how this works. It always seems like a leak to me, but Apple just puts up like the entire album and then you can only listen to the singles. I don't use
Yep.
Apple, but I wonder if bands have to like agree to this or if they just don't really care. But I don't know. There's something weird about like here's the whole album. You can't listen to it yet, but you can see it.
I kind of like that though, because then like you know what you're in for, like how many songs, how long it is.
Yes, which brings me to this is a 10-song album. So I'm gonna try to not listen to any more singles because
They're gonna put more out.
at least one, probably two. We have like month and a half till August 4th when it comes out. So 10's short, but I'm not complaining that it's only 10 songs, but I don't want to listen to half this album before it comes out.
No, like, how long was In Sickness and Flames? No, it's 12 songs.
Yeah. I think they put out a lot for that too. I don't know. They like putting out singles. We'll see. I'm not good at not listening. Like all it's gonna take is like Vinny to text me like, "Holy shit, this new song is awesome," and then I'm gonna just listen to it. I'm
I've been doing
weak.
like listen once or twice and then waiting for the album, so I don't
Oh,
play it out before.
that's a nice middle ground. Um, you know what I've been playing out is I know we talked about last week, but I think I listen to Foo Fighters, but here we are, like 5 times a day. It's to the point where Nicole told me to stop. She, she's like, Nick,
Can you see the
please.
direct quote?
I don't remember it. What was the direct quote? I can't
It's
listen to this
like this
album
has to
anymore.
stop.
Yeah. She's like, it's a good album. She's like, I like it, but like you're gonna make me hate it. It has to stop. Because the problem is I got it on vinyl this past week. I got lucky. I just popped into my record store this past Friday. So a
And it
week
was
after it
there.
was out. And they're like, yeah, we got two. There's one still here. So that was cool. But I'll put it on and then I don't know, I'll take Jasper outside and just like throw him the ball for 10 minutes. And then Nicole's just listening to the album. So like I'm not gonna pause a record. Like, it's just on. I just want it to be on all the time.
It's beyond her.
It's beyond her. Meanwhile, I'm on the other side of the glass where I can't even hear it.
Should we just name
So
that
good.
the album of the year? Like, do we really think there's gonna be something that surpasses that
No, I don't. And I hate to like drop the hammer in June, but
on June 12th
yeah.
or June 14th when you're listening to this?
Also like I really want us to have different albums of the year, but it's not gonna happen.
Unless his front bottoms like blows us away, but I don't know what
No,
else I'm really anticipating that's going to do that.
I expect my problem is I am a sucker for like death. I know that sounds fucked up in a way, but like that added layer to music is just it just hits you on another level. Like it's not like you don't want to root for it or anything, but like it just does. Like Circles by Mac is one of my favorite albums ever, and it's amazing. If he was alive, the songs just wouldn't they'd still be amazing, but they wouldn't hit the same because
Yeah,
that there's just a whole layer that wouldn't be there. Obviously, this is I don't even think I have to say this, but I would rather him still be alive making music, but that's not the reality. And when an album has that, it just has this deeper thing to it, and it yeah, uh, it's it's real. But and the songs are incredible on this Foo Fighters album.
like every single one of them. I've
Yeah,
had like different moments with like each track, I
yeah,
think, over the last week.
yeah. Beyond Me has been my big one lately. Everything
So
We Love
good.
Must Grow Old, so I'm told. Like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm listening to that like walking Jasper, who's a year old, and I'm like, he's gonna die someday. it's beautiful in a way though, to like, appreciate everything and all that jazz. But
Did you let Rest play some more?
yeah, yeah, it doesn't seem it's not as hard to listen to as the first time, because the first time I just put the album on. I didn't know I was gonna love it like this, and it didn't have my full attention the first time it was on. And when Rest was on, it's just like he's yelling like "Rest now, you can rest now" for kind of a while, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is really heavy." Now when I listen to it again, like it has verses, like it's a song. It's not just him yelling "Rest now." So
Yeah.
like it's yeah. So
When it kicks in is like so
yeah,
good.
yeah,
And the whole song is good, but like that part especially.
yeah. I I can't wait to see them. I I don't want to wish summer away, but
It's
concerts
so
are
far away, that show.
they're starting to get loaded for after like September. September onward is filling up.
The concert calendar.
Yeah, I got Jimmy Eat World tickets too. That's July, but Jimmy Eat World, Manchester Orchestra in Central Park on a Wednesday, which I like because I don't have shit to do on Wednesdays. I'm psyched. I'm really psyched, but I need some Manchester Orchestra help.
I got two for you. So
Albums?
it is, yes.
Okay.
So first one is, let's see, which one should I do first?
Because they started more like, I don't know if punk is exactly the right word, but more in that direction. And now they're more like slow. Is
Experimental.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. They do mean everything to nothing.
Okay. Is
And
that
then
where does that fall in their like number of releases?
their second album, but it's the one
Ooh,
that blew them up.
sophomore album.
And
Nice.
it's probably like everyone's favorite still.
Okay.
And then Cope, which I think you've
Cope.
listened to
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've listened to Cope. I can't think of like songs, but I've listened to it. And I did love this EP. I listened to it a lot when it came out, and then I kind of just forgot about it, which I will now unforget about it. But
Yeah, I
it
don't
was
remember their
good.
last album. I feel like I didn't spend enough time with that. It was Million Mats of God.
Hmm.
I think that was pre-podcast.
Ah,
That's probably why.
yeah. When we weren't trying to listen to everything, listening to a lot of stuff, but now we
You know,
make
we
a
pay
little more of
attention
an
more when
effort.
we
Yeah,
listen.
yeah,
Like I had like the lyrics up when I was like listening to Isabel at work today. I had like my second screen was just the lyrics in Spotify. I
yeah.
can follow
I
along.
love doing that. You don't have to stare at them, but like you can read like four lines, get them in your head, and then when he sings them, you're more aware of them. I mean, he enunciates and all that. Like it's not
Oh
like it's
yeah,
hard to hear, but when you're spending time with an album, you just start to want to read it.
especially when you like it.
Yeah. Let's talk about him. Let's talk
Let's
about it.
do it.
Um,
Do you want to start with the doc or the new album first?
uh, hmm.
Did you watch the doc?
I did.
Okay.
I watched the doc today. Uh, yeah, we could talk about the documentary because I think that like that helped me enjoy him more.
It did, right?
Yeah, because you get some personality behind it and you get to kind of understand where this artist is coming from, especially for music like this that's very like story driven. With there are awesome guitars. Like I love his solo style and everything, but definitely lyric driven music.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed the doc. There it was a little heavy on like the marriage counseling, but I think that's just that's his story. Like that's what I don't know. Who am I to
She's
like
like the biggest part of who he is today, pretty much. She
yeah,
saved him. She's like his co-collaborator,
Amanda
Amanda Shires,
Shires. Yeah.
Shires. Shears are garden tools.
Yes. The doc was I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of crazy. Like he has lived like a cliche musician's life almost.
He really has.
I don't say that to take away from him, but it's just like He's like, yeah, I was a kid and my parents would fight, so I'd crank up my amp so I could just hear my music. And it's like, yep, that's like if I was just gonna like write a story about a kid who gets in the guitar. His mom had him when she was 16.
And I was 18. Yeah. Insane.
Wild. And and then how he joined up with Drive By Truckers was like,
That was
is
crazy.
that real? How does that happen? So they, from my understanding, was they were missing a guitarist or something that night, and he just asked, "Can I play with you?" They said yes.
And they
Like
realized he
what?
was like a prodigy.
Like how, what? I have so many questions. Like how does that? How did they roll the dice on that? Did he just like exude confidence and they're like he wouldn't ask if he didn't think he could do it? I don't know. If I was a band and some kid's like, "Can I do this show with you?" I'd be like, "I don't know. Can you? Who are you?"
They heard him play first, I would hope. And then they're like, all right, this guy can hang.
Okay, that makes more sense. In my mind, they got on stage and they were like, "Oh, our guitarist is gone." And he's
It was
like,
like a
"Oh,
Green Day show.
pick me." Yeah. They let him keep the guitar after. Yeah, and then he just like immediately started songwriting for them. I have to listen to that song that they named in the
Decoration Day.
documentary. Yeah, which that shows up under um himself too, because they played it on like a live album or something.
I haven't
But
really listened to them too much. I'm sure I'd like them, knowing I like his music, but I haven't really gone back
yeah,
and listened to them.
I'd like to listen to the first one they had with him, just for like
Yeah,
historical purposes.
which I think is like the album is actually called Decoration Day.
Damn, that is a good name. Uh, I thought his songwriting process was really cool. He comes into the studio with songs, and his band doesn't know them. His wife does, because like obviously she lives with him. It'd be hard
Editing
not
like on
to.
the spot. Like they're
Yeah,
arguing over the word two.
yeah. The semantics in like past and present tense, which that's where I always got hung up with writing, was tense. Tense could be tricky at times.
It could
So
be.
yeah, it can be. It will be.
It
Uh,
shall.
it shall. Yeah, the band was super cool. Their one guitarist with like the longer hair, that guy had a cool vibe to him.
He had one of my favorite parts in the documentary where like you see the process of like him writing and singing like letting you go.
Yeah. Yep.
And you see the guy just like trying not to cry. And at the
Yeah.
end he's like, well, at least she's only four.
Yeah. He's the lyrics are all about like her getting married and walking down the aisle, and he's gonna pass her off to another man who's then gonna care for her. And he's like, she's only four, man. You're really getting ahead of yourself.
That part was great.
Yeah, another great quote came out of that part too, because he's sitting there. He's like, "I'm an emotional dude." He's like, "I don't know what else to say." He's like, "I'm glad I have a band and not like Guns for Hire, because they would go off to another studio and be like, 'Hey, I recorded for this asshole the
Oh
other day
yeah.
who cried over his own song.'" Amazing.
He's not wrong though.
No, he's tapping into stuff, and it's like cool that he can. Another good quote was about how like in high school, he's like, "I was chubby and I read books. Like I didn't play football, so I was just the target." And now he's just like a cool guitar player.
Yeah.
So it's weird to think about all that, but yeah.
And then the difference between a violin and a fiddle.
Yeah,
The violin you're trying to sell, fiddle you're trying to buy.
yeah, yeah. That was great. He had a good line too after that, where he's like, "I hope I'm always your
Your
fiddle."
fiddle. Yeah.
Yeah, she just like rolls her eyes. That was cool. I enjoyed the documentary, and I enjoyed reunions. The song Overseas was killer. That guitar riff, I
Oh, it's so good.
yeah, I immediately learned it, and then I tried to learn the solo and didn't learn it instantly, so I gave up, because that's how it goes, right? Can't work at something. Then I just put on a Blink song and played that.
Blink is a good backup for the
Yeah,
confidence.
yeah. I need an in between a shredder and Blink. I don't know what that is, but it's nothing right now because I'm just spending all my free time playing Zelda
Not the teacher.
and the teacher. I listen to the teacher and I play Zelda, and that's like an hour disappears. What'd you think of Weathervanes? His newest album.
But I liked it. It was definitely a lot darker, I think, than Reunions was. Which I was like reading like an interview with him today, and like they're pretty much calling it like Reunion was like his like optimistic album. This one is like just him like kind of grasping like the negative in the world right now and
Yeah.
like touching on the major issues. Now he feels like they're not getting better and things haven't gotten better in a long time.
Yep. Yeah, I got that vibe too. Like, I listened to Save the World driving home today in the rain. Fuck.
That's a dark one too.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about Uvalde. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it
Yeah,
starts
but then
off
he's
with
like,
like, what? Is
as
it
you
get
said, like
better?
where he's like talking about like he's like in the grocery store with his daughter and like a balloon pops and he like his heart jumps in his chest and
Yeah.
looks around to find the exit door, not knowing what that
Yeah.
sound was.
It's all yeah. I'm not even a parent, and like I could only imagine that extra level of even having to like
Paranoia.
think about that for like a second. Uh, yeah. And then the whole album, you're right, does have that kind of vibe to it, where it's just trying to like yeah cope, I guess.
Yeah, like he kind of like he talks about like real world issues, but like sets it to like a character story.
Yeah.
Like King of Oklahoma is
Yeah. That was a good one.
like the medical system taking advantage of people with addictions is like the theme of that one.
Yeah. There was that line about like just give him a bunch of pills and like send him home or something.
Yeah. His vocal delivery in that song is so good though. Like how everything like
He's awesome.
rhymes and like there's a rhythm to it and
Yeah. I am excited to get to know his music better because this music is kind of hard for me in the sense that
you have to pay attention.
yeah, it doesn't feel like something I would just throw on in the background. Like to bring it back to the Foo Fighters, like you can dive into those lyrics and it can be a very like heavy ride, or you can just put it on and you're like, these songs rock, the guitar is cool, like that dichotomy is very interesting. And this, I think, is there a little, or but I find myself just like if I'm not paying attention to the lyrics, I'm like, all right, when's the solo coming? Like I just find myself waiting for solos. Another thing I picked up from the documentary that he kind of snuck in there was he was talking about how there was never like mental health help when he was a kid. And he's like, you were either like sane or you were crazy and you got sent to the 400 unit.
And that's
So
where the
that,
band came from
yeah, yeah, they didn't deliberately say it, but I thought that was like a cool way to put it in there.
without like being explicit with it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'll I'll listen to this album a little more. I want it to stick. I just don't think it will. And it's not a knock at the album, just this music doesn't stick for me. I don't know why. I want it to.
It takes a little while. I
Yeah.
feel like with I feel like Reunions was a more accessible album than this one. Like this one only had like I want to say like 2 to 3 what I call like rockers of his
Yeah, like when we were close
when
had
we were
that.
close. Yeah,
Yeah.
this ain't it.
Yeah.
And like Miles, I kind of wrote like because like the teacher's been in my head all week. Like this one kind of had two parts to it, but it was the same song, and
Yeah.
like it was also like really long. But it's like
Yeah.
a great album closer, and like how it changes halfway through, but then it goes all the way back to bring it full circle.
Yes. Very, very teacher-ish in that
Yeah,
regard.
like I've
Yeah.
listened to it I think like 3 times so far, and like I pretty much know what my favorites are already.
Yeah.
But
I liked Middle of the Morning too. I thought that was
that was a good one.
I'm not sure. I don't think I can tell you lyrically what it was about, but it had a nice vibe to it. And for all I know, it's like a sad song about someone who
It might
died.
be. I feel like it's one of those songs that's sad, but it has like a happy guitar to it.
Yeah, Lauren was telling me one of these songs is about
Parents divorce.
no, about another Nashville guitarist who passed away. Maybe Jeff something. Um I didn't write it down. I'm sorry, world. You'll have to figure that one out on your own. Threats in
Or was it
research mode.
no, not Save the World. I know what you're talking about, but I forgot the name of the song now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
it's on there.
If You Insist, or When We Were Close. It might be When We
Probably
Were
that.
Close.
Yeah. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, a friend who died of like substance abuse. It sounds like based on the
That's
lyrics.
got to be crazy for him because he was really close to that road.
Yeah, that's why he's like, "Why am I still here?" Pretty much on the song,
Yeah.
and that guy isn't. Or
Well,
Carol. I don't
yeah.
know the sex. Did you listen to
I'd like to see
Southeastern?
him. Is that another album by him?
That was the one where he like blew up, like where he got
No.
sober and then
Oh no.
he got really big.
I've listened to the Nashville Sound reunions and now this one. And that's about it.
So go to Southeastern and see if you get hooked, because that's the one that got me like hooked on him. It was a
Okay.
Parco recommendation.
Yeah, I'm definitely willing to stick with him. Um, I think I feel like the more songs I listen to and get to know him and his like writing style, I think it'll be better than if I were to just like live on one album.
Yeah, he's got a lot of music. So, and then if you feel like crying, listen to If We Were Vampires, and then but don't listen to it with Nicole.
Okay. I feel like I've heard you talk about this song before.
Yeah,
I might was that on Nashville Sound? I might have listened to that one.
yeah, I think it's like his most played song on Spotify,
Yeah, it is on. Yeah, wow. It
far
destroys
and away.
everything.
Yeah,
116 mil. Everything else floats in like the 6 to 20 range, which is still incredible.
like the ultimate sad couple song.
Breakup song?
No, not even. It kind of deals with something that's unsaid, but is probably true in reality. I don't know if you want me to spoil the song. I can.
You can
I'm trying to
spoil
leave
it.
it vague, but
No, I was going. You can spoil
well,
it.
let me pull up the lyrics real quick. I feel like I tried to tell Sandra what it was about last night, and like she like
She's like,
wasn't getting it. So I was like, "Let me show you the last verse." And she was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah, this is why." I'll just let him say it because he's better at it. Where are the lyrics? Doing this in real time.
one day we'll have a producer.
Monday. It's like the chorus is, "It's knowing that this can't go on forever. Likely one of us will have to spend some days alone.
Oh
Maybe we'll
Jesus.
get 40 years together, but one day I'll be gone, or one day you'll be gone."
I don't want to think about that shit, man.
But if you hear the song, like how the song is, like it hits even harder than me reading those lyrics.
It's almost like he's saying everything we love must grow old. So I'm told.
Yes, it's exactly what he's saying.
Oh
But
man.
but then like the lines like, "If we were vampires and death was a joke, we'd go out on the sidewalk and smoke and laugh at all their lovers and their plans."
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
heavy song.
yeah. Heavy stuff here on GA this week.
That's Isbell in a nutshell, though. I do think he's probably the best songwriter around. I feel comfortable saying that. I can't really think of anyone else who's hitting themes like he does.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Like talking about things that people don't like to talk about in a way that's extremely relatable.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing other than like, but here we are has grabbed me super lyrically yet this year. I I think.
And that's like somewhat rare for a Foo record too. They're not really known for their like
Y-
emotional lyrics, but like that's why like people are so addicted to this one, because like he opened himself up and the music like benefited from it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sucks
nothing.
the circumstances, but in a way it's a blessing in disguise that we got a little peek behind the curtain and it seems to be hitting home with a lot of people.
And now they're gonna tour it. They are playing near us, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go. But I think he'd be fun to see live. I feel like he'd be fun to see live at a festival.
Or the summer stage. He'd be a good
Yeah,
summer stage, but I don't know why he's playing in like a theater in New Brunswick.
yeah, yeah. That's too bad.
Granted, I think they love playing venues like that, so that's probably why. But
Mm,
him on the beach just sounds much more fun.
yeah,
Not that his music is all that fun all the time, but
I know. Initially, I was like, oh, maybe this will be good, like sitting outside in the summer music, and then I don't.
we'd be sitting in theater seats crying if we were vampires.
So I want to spend the Friday night. Um, yeah, I'm looking at this release list for this year, and nothing on it.
Would have
I
contend with Foo.
like Boy Genius is maybe the next lyrical one that I could maybe think of, and like I haven't personally gone back to that. I know you like it, but like that was at least one that, and that's probably because it was another kind of lyrically driven record.
That one's definitely up there. I feel
Um,
like whenever the Menzingers put something out, like their lyrics always grab me.
what about the Dave Hawes album? Is he's a lyrical guy? No?
He is, but for some reason, I like this most recent one was good, but it hasn't stuck with me. Maybe I'll listen to that more this week.
Yeah. Oh,
Because normally he is.
Hot Mulligan, Why Would I Watch has great lyrics. I'll say that. But I
That is
wouldn't call
true.
well, I don't know. Like it's hard to that genre is lyrically driven, but it's like doesn't feel like it is. I don't know how to explain. The lyrics definitely keep me around, but it's not like storyteller lyrics, but
Maybe Spanish love songs.
have
Very
they
dark, but very storytelling lyrics.
they put something out?
They're putting out an album in August, and they
Oh,
have
okay.
the
Yeah, yeah,
single out
that's what
right
I
now.
thought. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's not out yet. But okay, so I don't know how we transition out of this dark talk, so I'm just gonna pull us right out. We have a listener question from my favorite listener, a listener who I love very much, who I see every day. And my wife, Nicole. I'm sorry. I have to do the Borat thing. I just can't
Have
help
to.
it. I don't even want to. It
It's like a
just,
wife rule.
yeah. That was like one of the perks of getting married was just being able to say my wife. But oof, bringing it back. Nicole's favorite band is Amberlin. I've said many times, and they put out a killer single this week. And we're going to talk about it anyway, but she wrote in a question, so I'm going to read that now. Hi guys, you're both so handsome and funny, and I love you both very much. I might have added that part. I want to get your thoughts on the new Amberlin single, Lacerate. Also, how do you guys think it fits with the Silverline EP? I'm loving it in the direction they are growing in. I feel so lucky that my favorite band has been growing with me and continuing to put out great music over the years. I'm looking forward to seeing their next EP called Convinced Sound. It's really cool. Like, I think this is awesome for Nicole because she loves heavy music. And Amberlin's always been her favorite band, and they've never really been heavy. And now they're just becoming heavy. Like, how
Out of
awesome is
nowhere.
that?
Yeah.
You
I
just
didn't
have,
think this single was going to be heavy. Like it started off like dancey and then it just
yeah,
comes in like over the top rope and it's like, all right,
yeah.
they're
It's like a
going
little
back to the EP sound.
like synth intro thing, and then which I was down for. Like they can really like do anything and make it work, at least from what they've done. Like they don't have many duds, and especially like lately. Silverline EP was awesome. I think I might have gave it a Jenny for my favorite EP of last year.
Yeah, they let it rip on that one.
Yeah, and they're like just
To
sticking with
quote
that.
the bear,
The Bear.
right? That's you watched that show, right?
I only watched the first episode,
Oh,
but they're
okay.
advertising season two, so I'm gonna watch it.
I
There's a
might
lot
have
of
spoiled the finale of season one, but at least you won't know what that means until the final episode.
If you didn't say it was a spoiler, I would have never thought the phrase "let it rip" had any significance.
It'll hit a lot harder when you watch the episode, but
Okay. And that's Amberlin talk.
great episode.
No, I'm just kidding. I love that they're screaming, and like we've seen them live so many times because they're Nicole's favorite band, and I also like them. And he screams live a little more. Like he'll beef up the song. So he's always kind of had it in him. So I love that they're going in this direction. It's awesome.
I just wish they were taking this and putting out a full length. Is
Yes.
my only complaint.
Thank you. I said the same thing to Nicole the other day. Like, you just gave us an EP. They're gonna give us another EP. Just like, what are you doing here?
Bayside's also doing this, so it's not. I'm not gonna just pile on Amberlin here.
No, and more music is good music, and it's songs we like. So our complaint's just that we like your music so much we want
We
more
want
of it.
more. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Just like write 5 more songs. What's
Like
the
I'm sure you have them sitting around that are
Yeah,
unfinished.
I don't get it. But maybe they're so excited about this new sound that they don't want to wait to put it out. But then I don't know, put out singles.
Or are they living up to like their promise of like when they said they were done being a band, but then they came back?
Yeah, I think we did we go to multiple nights of that tour? We might have went to 2. I don't remember, but I feel like I've seen Amberlin's final show like 3 times.
Because they haven't put out a full length since 9 years ago. July 22nd, 2014 was when Lowborn came out.
Wow.
I don't know that album at all.
I don't I don't think I do. I can't look at it because my mouse died. I am
Their
attached to the
first
Zoom.
3 I know very well, and New Surrender.
Yeah,
Lowborn and Vital, not so much.
I'm using the trackpad. It's gonna take me forever to get there. I just want to see what's on this Lowborn album because the Peace thing. They do this is like one of their 2014, damn. Stranger Ways. Hearing Voices. Whoa, Foo Fighters. What are you doing? Yeah, I think if I listened to it, I would recognize songs, but I don't recognize titles.
Can we ask Nicole a question back and ask for a brief summary of Vitals and Lowborn?
Yeah, yeah. Where we are turning it around. The old switcheroo. Is this a switcheroo?
I just switcheroo.
Or is it a what's good for the goose is good for the gander? I just watched that Seinfeld episode, so yeah, it's a weird quote. Um,
Oh, so
yeah.
they're actually putting out this EP almost a year to last year's EP.
Oh, yeah.
July 29th last year, and this year is June 30th. So 11 months later.
I hope they tour. I don't. I don't think they're touring. I think if they were touring, we would be going. So, but they're a cool band because they've always kind of had the heavy side to them, but they never really brought the lyrics or like the vocal delivery into the heavy side. And now they're starting to do it. And like they could be like on Octane now with this sound. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
they
be
could.
surprised. Like that's what's hot in the streets right now. Like
Octane,
not to discredit them, but like just become an Octane band. It's like a whole genre at this
like
point.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Yep. I mean, they're great at it, but I see a lot of comments in the on the internet with these bands where it's like mostly in the metal world, but it's like, oh, they're just trying to be an Octane band now.
Bring Me the Horizon is such a fascinating band. Like I was looking at their tour set list. Like I loved them in college, and like they don't play that much off like those albums I loved in college, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They're on the Fall Out Boy tour, right?
They are.
Okay. Yeah, because they have a single out right now. Is it
Should we day of look at that?
the Fall Out Boy show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go. I keep like putting feelers out and I just keep getting back like, yeah, I'd be down, but like no one's giving me the push. I need some enthusiasm because I'm not like I don't really know a lot of Fall Out Boy, although they might be a band where you wind up knowing like most of it without realizing it.
You can put the greatest hits on and
Yeah, I
get it
think
down from there. And the new
yeah,
one that we liked a lot.
yeah. Like if I knew they were leaning into this new album, I'd definitely want to go more, but I still would be down. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the song "Lost" by Bring Me the Horizon. There's one. There's like a music video. They're in a
It's
hospital and
yeah,
like
that's Lost, I think, that just
yeah,
came out, right?
that song is so cool.
It's
Like
really good.
I love what they're doing there, and they have a song with Youngblood too, which is pretty cool. Although he has a single out right now that I don't I don't really love. He
Uh
he just I still stand by thinking he's incredibly talented because he puts out great songs throughout all these different styles, but I want him to lean heavy. Like he could do like a metal album like that like post-hardcore kind of thing or like My Chem style, and he's just not going that way. But I really want him to. But this one's a little like the chorus is like chanty and like kids singing, and it's just not. It doesn't feel like it's for me, and I don't think it is for me. But I know he has that heavy side in him, and I want him to go in the direction of Amberlin and embrace the heavy side.
Everyone's doing it, just become an Octane rapper.
He's not a rapper, Brett. He does a lot of stuff.
More to him than that.
All right, so what shows, since we started talking about shows, what shows are we watching that we might go to? Because I know we just mentioned Fall Out Boy, and I really want to go to this Modest Mouse tour.
That's another one on the maybe list.
Tickets are sitting at like 120, which is
They're
just a
sold out, right?
little, yeah. It's oh, oh, wah, ba, ba, ba. I have to bring up something that happened to me, and it is crazy. And I did not know this was a thing. So I want to know if you knew this was a thing. It actually fits in perfectly since we are talking about Youngblood. I can't go to his show. I bought tickets like a year ago or some shit, just like on a whim. It's my dad's 60th birthday. Um, I can't go. So I'm like, let me just sell these, recoup some of my money, and like call it a day. Sorry, something was beeping in the background. I don't know if my mic picked that up. Anyway, so I go on the Ticketmaster and I look at what's there. There's tickets going for, and this hurts my soul because this was a really just bad purchase on my part. If you're playing like the stock market ticket game, there's tickets going as low as 18, and then there's tickets going for 39. I think I paid 50 a pop for these tickets, which
Ooh,
sucks. It's not even a sold out show. Like I just give this guy more credit than I think everyone else is giving him, or his fans are just so young that like they're not going to a show with the pony. Either way,
young blood with young fans.
yeah, yeah, young blood with young blood, and I'm old blood, and I overpaid for these tickets. So I'm like, let me just recoup. Let me put them up for like 20, $25 and get half my money back. Hopefully, call it a day. And I go on the Ticketmaster and I click sell my tickets, and it shows you a little chart and it says right now tickets 18 and then the highest 39. I'm like, all right, I don't want 18. I'd rather just give them away. So let me put 25 and see what happens. And I type in 25 and I get an error of red text that says, um, I don't know if it was like the vendor or the seller or the whoever's like in charge of these tickets, whatever that would be, um, will not let you list them for lower than 39. But I'm like, there's tickets here for 18. Like, why can't I sell these tickets? I do some research. You're not allowed to undercut on Ticketmaster. You have to list your tickets at whatever the highest tickets are. Like, what if some
Wait,
asshole
so how did people get 18 then? 18 was the high at that point?
that must have been like the first ones that got put up, and then people just have to go higher? Like, what?
That's insane.
What?
Because like
What?
when they sold the pup ticket, that was like you could set whatever price you wanted. But that was Axis. That wasn't.
Okay, yeah. So I wonder if this is a something that like the artist camp puts in place when they're like 18 is a bad look. We don't want this to go lower. So we're just gonna like check this box. But like
He might have done that.
that's kind of what I feel like because this can't be a thing all the time. There's no way. But it's just insane to me. And then Ticketmaster is going to take a cut of the ticket that I bought from them that they took a cut from that someone is buying from me. So I just put them on StubHub. And there I was allowed to put them for 25. But like you can't undercut? What?
That's a joke. Ticketmaster just
That-
again the worst part of like the biz right now.
it's I I never thought like this would or could be a thing. I could see if they want to set a minimum or a maximum, even though I don't see that part ever happening. But like to not let me just put my tickets somewhere in the middle is wild. Trying to sell them for half what I paid you. Let me just put them there.
It
So
just
I
takes some
don't know.
time to put them in the middle.
It does. uh, I've listened to them a bunch. They're so
They're so
good.
good.
Every this happens to me like once a year. I put Jimmy Eat World on and I just go, wow, this band is so good. And then in a month I'm gonna forget. And then a year's gonna go by. I'm gonna put them on again and I'm gonna remember.
You can just see them at the show.
Yeah. Well, now that with this show in July, I'm just gonna keep listening to them. I have a lot of bands I need to listen to.
They're due for a new album too.
Yeah, they did these like
A
sessions
couple
of like
singles, right?
they re-recorded a few albums. Um they
They
did
Taylor
Clar
Swift.
they did Clarity and no, because the other ones are still there. So I don't really know what the point of this was, but
Were they the live shows?
it says sessions, which makes it seem live, but it doesn't sound live. But maybe they're just that good. Because they have a lot. They have like a lot of albums that I haven't dug into. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. Like tell no Chase This Light, I kind of know. This Surviving album, that's the one where I don't really remember this.
But that was a great album.
Yeah, I put it on and I
Really, really
enjoyed it.
good.
I don't remember it. Integrity Blues, Damage,
Damage is also underrated.
Chase This Light. That one I like. Chase This Light, Futures, Bleed America. I really like Static Prevails, but I don't think they play anything off that because he wasn't even like singing on that album.
No,
That album is so good. And I keep going back to it because
just
I
sell
like
out.
it and I'm like, this isn't homework here. Like you're not gaining anything listening to these songs other than like, enjoying them. But when you're trying to like prep for a show, don't
Doesn't
listen to the
help.
album they're not going to play. That's not helping anybody. I need to listen to like their like Damage Through Surviving.
Do you know Invented? I don't know this one at all.
Uh I know Coffee and Cigarettes. I think this another one that they no, this wasn't a Sessions. I might have just had on shuffle. Have you tried the Spotify DJ yet?
I still have to because I guess you can't do it on the desktop app.
No, it's mobile only. Um, I think you might have to go into like settings. I actually don't know how to find it. Nicole found it while we were driving. Lauren had told me about it, and then I asked Nicole to look it up while I was driving. But it's pretty cool. I was hesitant at first because like I thought it would just be like a shitty version of like radio. But basically, what happens is like this little like green circle that looks like the Spotify logo pops up on your screen, and it's like, "What's up? I'm Xavier. You could call me X. I'll be your DJ." And then and then he like talks to you. He calls you by your name, and and he'll say like, "All right, we're gonna start off with like a song that you listened to a few months ago, but you haven't really like listened to again." And like he played Pavement because like I listened to Pavement for like a couple days a month ago, and he did that, and then he did Modest Mouse, and then he's like, "All right, now we're gonna pick it up with some of those songs you love to hear in the summer," and then he played Reborn off Kids See Ghosts. You remember? Did you listen to that
Oh
album with
wow,
Kanye and Kid Cudi?
yeah,
I was like,
that's
dude,
a throwback.
that's what I said. I'm like, holy shit, I used to love this album, and I did listen to it on repeat that one summer. So like, wow. And he
That's
did
when he was
that.
dropping an album like every Friday
Yeah, man, those are the days. I don't know what his deal
before he
is right
lost his
now.
mind. Man,
You think he'll get a redemption arc?
no,
No, really?
I think he's too far gone.
Damn, I'm holding out. I feel like he might have one more in him. He's been laying low, or have I just not been seeing stuff?
I think he has,
Last I
or they
saw
just took
was
his,
just
or maybe his
like,
manager took his social media away.
yeah, he's just like, you have to stop. You have to
Yeah,
stop
he's like, I'm
this.
changing all your passwords and not telling you what they are.
Yeah, all I saw from him was that he has like a new girlfriend who he calls his wife, and she looks like Kim Kardashian, which is for him like that's not him saying or doing anything crazy. But back to the Spotify DJ. He then played Cynical, which is another I listened to California a lot that summer.
2016, right?
Yeah. And he's like, all right, now we're gonna like throw it back to some 90s. And he played like Smashing Pumpkins and Audio Slave and there's like a button in the bottom if you're not feeling a song, it'll like shake it up. It's pretty cool. He pops back in and like how he introduces like the next three or four songs.
Now, how long will that go on for? Like until you shut him off?
Yeah,
Is there like a
it
time limit?
no, it just goes. It's like for a little bit it was living up in my recently played. Like you could just click DJ.
I gotta
Uh
look at the app
it,
later and see if I can find it.
it's definitely worth checking out. I don't usually I when I want to listen to music, I know what I want to listen to,
Yeah,
but
car
for
ride though,
like
it's
car
not a bad
yeah,
idea.
exactly. Because then you can switch it up nicely. And what I would like to see from it, if Spotify is listening, is these artists all have bios. So like get the AI to like maybe read like the first three lines. Like how cool would it be if it's like next you got Modest Mouse. They're from like Seattle or wherever they're from and like they're from Seattle? Pacific Northwest, somewhere up there.
I think
Um
they're from or did
Washington.
he
I don't think
but
Seattle, but
Montana? Was he from Montana? Maybe,
true trailer
maybe.
trash. I don't know. I feel like we should know this.
And then he moved to Washington. Or no, he was from Washington, and then it was like a town that got like commercialized, right?
Yeah, Cowboy Dan. Yeah. Well,
Well,
yeah, I think I don't know. There's a lot you could do with AI and like all that info is there. So like it would be I would love it if it just read like a little blurb, gave you like one or two fun facts about the artist or the song. That would be really cool. And I feel like it's very doable.
might be in the next
Next
update, next
next
few updates.
next next version 2, 2.0.
X2.
I wonder if like girls get a female DJ or if it's all just X or do I get a different DJ every time?
I'll let you know who mine is when I find it.
Yeah. Let me know if it's X. Cool guy. Cool guy. Uh poor actual DJs are like, I've been on radio for 20 years. I don't
Now,
get paid at all.
Chat GPT is taking your job now.
Now you have a podcast talking about an AI radio. What is happening?
What a world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Do you know what it is? Because I don't remember.
No, I thought you were going to ask what's up next week.
Oh, I was definitely gonna ask that. I thought there was one more. That's okay. What is up for next week?
We got Queens of the Stone Age
Ooh,
and Origami Angel is back.
with the album?
I believe so, but they're
Wow.
calling it like something mixtape. So I'm not sure if it's like a mixtape or it's an actual album.
Uh, I, huh, interesting. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. Because I could see them like just remixing a bunch of their own songs.
Yeah,
They're like a wacky band.
they're so good though. Like I'm very excited for this.
Yeah. Yeah, they're almost like too good to listen to regular. It's just there's a lot going on in their songs. Like they
You
take
don't know
Midwest.
where it's gonna go.
Yeah. It's like you take Midwest emo and like you turn it up to like 20 and then like who knows where it goes. Yeah,
Next thing you know,
it's
he's screaming at you, and there's like a super heavy breakdown.
yeah, they're very unpredictable, which is cool. Um Queens of the Stone Age, what is there any Queens of the Stone Age albums that you'd recommend other than the big one? It's whose
Uh,
its name I'm
was it
forgetting.
rated R? I want to say it's called. It's before Songs for the Deaf.
Yeah, I was gonna say a non-songs for the deaf album because I could listen to that to get rated R. All right, yeah, I
Like
recognize
Clockwork
this.
was good too.
All right, I'll give them some spins in preparation. I kind of like doing that with Jason Isbell. Is like now that we have more time between episodes instead of recording like 3 days after Friday.
Have some time to sit with it a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be a Queens of the Stone Age
Okay,
week.
so rated R is good. Lullabies to Paralyze and like Clockwork.
All right, maybe I'll just listen to all of them. We're recording on Monday, so I have 4 days till their album comes out. Or maybe I'll just listen to But Here We Are 5 times a day, nothing else.
Could do that too.
Yeah, certainly an option. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. We have chosen a book for the book club.
Ah, that's right.
Ba-ba-na-na. That's the book club noise. Um, Brett, you want to introduce it? Because you found it. How did you find this?
So me poke. So friend of the pod, Adam Grundy of Chorus
Love Grundy. We should
FM.
have him back.
We should.
Been
It's
a
been
while.
too long
Been over a year.
because he had a has been over a year. Yeah, 'cause he wrote like a really good review for But Here We Are, and then also interviewed the author of this book, which is called Where Are Your Boys Tonight? The Oral History of Emo's Mainstream Explosion, 1999 through 2008.
Oh my God. I cannot wait to read this.
And it's an oral history, obviously, from the title.
Yeah.
So I saw it on, I read his interview with the author, and I was like, I have to send this to Nick because I think this is perfect for our next book club look. Because I know we've kind of been torn on what to do next, but this one fits perfectly with everything we've been talking about this year and since we
Yeah.
started the podcast, pretty much.
Yes. I
And you said
didn't
oral histories are like an easy read, so it won't be like pulling teeth to get me to get through Storyteller.
uh hmm hmm let's see. I don't know if I'd call it easy right away. But I so the book I went rogue and read was Everybody Loves Our Town, which is an oral history of the Seattle music scene. But that book started in like the early 80s. So for the first like quarter of that book, I was reading about bands I never heard of. And it was important to know all that to get the full scope and appreciate all the other band stories and who came from some of these bands I never heard of and things like that. So I say this because I'm not sure if it was the writing style that I had to get accustomed to or if I just didn't have a great time reading about bands I don't know. I feel like it's probably the latter, but the oral history thing, assuming that's how this is, I would think if it's called the same. Um, it takes some getting used to, but it's really cool because you're getting everything right from the artist's mouth or interviews or there you won't other than maybe like a prologue if they do that, you won't read anything written by the author of the book. It'll just
Oh,
say
fun.
like Pete Wentz, and he'll talk about something when this happened, and maybe if he
Chris
mentions
Caraba.
if he mentions an artist's name, the next quote will be that artist talking about the same night, and then which is cool because you get a lot of viewpoints. Because like I got that in the Seattle one, where people would just like say all this stuff that Courtney Love did, and then it would just be a Courtney Love quote like I never fucking did that. These people are liars, and like,
Yeah,
but
I
then
stomped
she
on their couch.
yeah. But then she would have quotes like there uh I want to say Screaming Trees had like this altercation backstage once And the guy's like, yeah, the one guitarist like threw a fucking bottle at my head and almost hit me, and it was a really big deal. And then the next quote was that artist saying like, he's like, yeah, then I got really mad and I threw a bottle and it almost hit this other guy in the head and he thought I threw it at him. So like you get all firsthand accounts of, and it's like kind of up to you what you want to believe. Because like who the hell knows how some of this stuff went down.
There's a lot of bark coming from the screaming trees. I couldn't tell if I froze again. You can put a little cricket noise in there for when you edit.
There was a little bark coming from the screaming trees. No, yeah, so the oral history thing is it's cool. When do you want to start this? Let's just do it right on the air. Like I'll download it. I mean, I just downloaded a fantasy book, but I can juggle. Shout
I
out
was gonna
Brandon
say, do we
Sanderson.
want to start like?
It'll be a great summer beach read.
I was
So
gonna say, do we want to start like
sooner.
July 1st? That way we have like we could probably knock a big chunk of it out like July 4th week.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Start in 2 weeks. Then I could finish this book I just downloaded.
There you go. I got one more book to finish too. That's kind of why I said July 1st.
Nice. Yeah, and I think this is a lot of books, so we can figure out how we want to do it and all
It's
that.
like 496 pages. But if it's like paragraph, giant space,
Yeah,
paragraph,
yeah.
like it should be pretty
And it's
quick.
not like, at least the way I felt about the last book, no part of it felt like, oh, I have to read this. There's so much to read. It was just I was excited to just get through whatever I was going to read that night. Like the book could have never ended and I would just keep going. So it didn't feel like a burden or anything like that. And I think with our history with all these bands and how like this is our music. Like this is as much as we love like 90s and all that, like this is what we really grew up with.
Yeah.
So
Just ages
I
9 through 18 right here.
yeah, it's gonna be good. I think this is a great choice and I'm very excited for it. So yeah, you want to say the name one more time? Just
So it is Where Are Your Boys Tonight? The Oral History of Emo's Mainstream Explosion, 1999 through 2008 by Chris Payne.
all right,
Payne.
nice. Chris Payne.
I think
Very
Where Are Your Boys
excited
Tonight
to
is a
hear.
Fall Out Boy quote, I believe.
Yeah, I hope
Right?
they are a gentleman.
Yes.
Maybe they
There it
won't
is.
find out, but I know. You were the last good thing about this part of town.
I think that just turned like 20 this year.
We had a lot of 20s. We should check out all the things that turn 20 and talk about them.
I feel like we've missed a couple anniversaries.
Yeah. 20 is a real one. Sometimes it's like we're not that
10's like a
desperate for things to talk about that we have to talk about an album that turned like 16 or something.
yeah, or 10. I think 10 is a good one, or 10 is
10,
too
10's kind of
soon.
good because you can, I think 10's worth talking about too. If it's, it depends on the
The Pearl
album.
Jam album.
Yeah, we just talk about 10 over and over. All right, let's get out of here. Good show. Good talking to everyone. Hope your summer's off to a hot start. It's finally raining, so I'm happy.
The
Because
grass is happy.
yeah, I hate watering my grass. It feels wasteful, but I also don't like my grass to die. So I'm happy for the rain. All right, everyone. We will talk to you next week. Thank you, Nicole, for writing in a question. You're the best. Bye.
The moment ends. The moment ends.
Bow, bow.